محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اجتنبوا كثيرا من الظن إن بعض الظن إثم ولا تجسسوا ولا يغتب بعضكم بعضا أيحب أحدكم أن يأكل لحم أخيه ميتا فكرهتموه واتقوا الله إن الله تواب رحيم. يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم إن الله عليم خبير. قالت الأعراب آمنا قل لم تؤمنوا ولكن قولوا أسلمنا ولما يدخل الإيمان في قلوبكم وإن تطيعوا الله ورسوله لا يلدكم من أعمالكم شيئا إن الله غفور رحيم. إنما المؤمنون الذين آمنوا بالله ورسوله ثم لم يرتابوا وجاهدوا بأموالهم وأنفسهم في سبيل الله أولئك هم الصادقون. صدق الله العلي العظيم.
Is a poem called Imam Hussein Says to God. Imam Hussein says, is there anyone who can help us? Is there anyone who can grant us security? Is there anyone who seeks justice, so he supports us? Is there anyone who fears the fire, so he defends us? A reminder for all to hear, for the miracle of proclamation, that no matter how many times you tell this tale, it will never grow old. It will never grow stale. For the prophet himself has said, there is a heat in the hearts of all the believers. For the martyrdom of Allah Hussein, which shall never extinguish. How strange is the pain in our hearts for Hussein, it shall never be relinquished. For the reality of what took place that day is more unbearable than the words I say. Today is a day of immense pain. Today is a day of death, of snatching of birds. Today is a day of grief and sorrow. And today is a day of loneliness for Imam Hussein. Adi ibn Mu'tahir has gone. Joan has gone. Qurb has gone. Ali Akbar has fallen in the battlefield. The sun was set. And it has already happened that the mirror of prophethood has been slain. And the children's thirst is unbearable under the scorching sun. Hussein has given permission to Abbas, his father and his other son, to take the water, skin, and go. And so Abbas has fought like his father through the darkening crowds of enemies who are trying to stop water from reaching the blessed prophet's own tree. And to Zainab and the women, the children in the tents, have witnessed Uncle Boss leaving to try to quench their thirst. But their thirst has remained. And all the heroes that have died on the path of the saint. Abbas now lies in the burning land, his blood has mixed with the sand. And the soldiers have fought them too long, fighting for dunya and money. Hussein stands alone, tired and thirsty. The bodies of his friends littering the battlefield, torn limbs and broken bones. Al-Yasir's thirst has been quenched. And now the time has come for Hussein to bid farewell. He turned to his family and asked that my body may not under the open sky pass. Give me an old cloth so that I may wear it underneath, and they shall trample my body and break my spine. But O Zainab, O Zainab, O Zainab, you must stay strong, for to the family of the Prophet you do belong. An old white cloth was brought to Imam Hussein and pulled, but in the end they even snatched those terrible souls. Hussein put on his helmet and his armor, within leaving also would protect the ladies' honor. Ladies who were raised in the lap of the prophet surrounded the Imam. Where he stood, he was a pillar of security, their valiant man of purity, the defender of their city. They held his clothes as the children cried. Why does the Imam have to leave? Have we not seen how Ali Akbar died? How Abbas was slain while he had tried to bring us water, and now this Arman is also leaving in the defense of Islam. Little girls kept begging Hussein not to leave. They clung to his bruise. They gripped his sleeves. How can he explain to these young souls that the enemies outside will not leave them alone? Hussein bade his family farewell. O the last of my family and the Prophet's progeny, you are the last of what remains of Islam's legacy. Hold out and be steadfast and patient. The you shall be wronged greatly by the temptation, and shall ultimately meet a godly end, or a goodly end. I go now to meet what my Lord intends. She does not want to let her father leave, and so she grieves, and the other grieve. How many of bedtime stories we tell our daughters, but this is a tale of which only Allah is the owner. He turns to her and says, you shall see me soon on the day of Jannah in the pool of God. Now that a martyr never does, so bid your tears goodbye, and enjoy the fruits of your patience with a sigh. And when my body is eventually found, lying covered on the ground, do not be my tears drown. Oh, my daughter, O Sakina. Umar ibn Saad now, Umar ibn Saad saw an ordered attack and now, while he's cornered, cut down the son of the Prophet while his heart is broken, while he is busy speaking with his womenfolk. So the soldiers of Yazid hastened about the deed, firing arrows with satanic speed. At the tents of the woman, the Prophet's own grief, and so the woman cried out and screamed. Hussein turned towards the soldiers, his sword unsheathed. Fatima must have looked down from the heavens. It is from her husband that would come alone. But could this truly be so? Hussein, my youngest son, alone, is forced to go, to suffer the sting of tyranny and aggression's arrow. Why has my son been left alone? So where is his Ali Akbar? Where is his son? Where is a boss who would not let this deed be done? They are slaying my Hussein under the burning sun, while he is alone and dry is his tongue. Where is Muslim? Where are the 72? O daughter of the Prophet, we are ashamed to tell you what they did, and ashamed all the more that we could not be with him. Imam Hussein, peace be upon you and upon those souls who accompanied you to your annihilation. Salam.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد.
So that because he's leaning forward.
Oh, yeah. Just closer to him.
I don't know. He was saying you have to lean forward.
Let me check him. Let me check when he comes.
I should like, do I have to center it? I have to center him, like you can see it when it's center?
Yeah.
I can do it like
Yeah,
this.
exactly. Point here.
Like here? Oh. Is that good?
Ladies, if you don't mind, if you can move this way so that people who come late are not disrupting us. And also, I would hold this line really strong so we don't give it up to the men all the way, because otherwise they will start coming over here. Oh, the men should.
Guys, move forward. People, move forward. Get us sitting right. Thank you. Move forward. That give you back.
Yeah, it's on the outside.
It's outside.
I got you. It's only like.
Thank you, Vera. Thank you, thank you.
Hassan, virtually.
It seems like Sheikh Modarres is slightly delayed for tonight, so we'll be restarting our Quran and another short presentation, inshallah. والله بكل شيء عليم يمنون عليك أن أسلموا قل لا تمنوا علي إسلامكم بل الله يمن عليكم أن هداكم للإيمان إن كنتم صادقين إن الله يعلم غيب السماوات والأرض والله بصير بما تعملون والله بصير بما تعملون بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والقرآن المجيد بل عجبوا أن جاءهم منذر منهم فقال الكافرون هذا شيء عجيب صدق الله العلي العظيم.
خاندان زهرا पे बुलंदतर सलावत अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद
Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Sheikh al-Quyani reports in the first volume of his book Al-Kafi through his chain to Imam Sadiq al-Islam, who says the following: the Holy Prophet has said, if one sets out on a journey to seek knowledge, Allah will lead him to the journey to seek knowledge, Allah will lead him. And that would be the way to taking the paradise. The angels will stretch their wings for the pleasure of the seeker of knowledge, and that is in the heavens and the earth. Even the whales in the ocean will ask forgiveness for him from Allah. The excellence of the scholar over other people is like that of the moon over other stars during a full moon night. The scholars of the hires of the prophets. The prophets did not leave any dirham or dinar, wealth, as their legacy, but they did leave knowledge as their legacy. Whoever acquires a share from such legacy has gained a very large share. In another hadith that Al-Qulaini reports, also from Imam Sadiq al-Islam, the Holy Prophet said, quote, seeking knowledge is obligatory for every Muslim. Let it be known that Allah loves those who seek knowledge. Salawat.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
China and stuff like that. And that's the maybe the time you know.
Assalamu alaikum. While we're waiting for the Maulana's arrival, I thought it would be a good opportunity while we're waiting to tell you a little bit about some upcoming events. This Saturday, inshallah, starting at 7:30 at Masjid Rasul, about 10 to 12 miles west from here, will be the Imam Hussain Blood Drive. The Imam Hussain Blood Drive is being held at 6 different locations throughout Los Angeles, including the Julus, which is part of the Imam Hussain Blood Drive this year. Obviously, it's on a separate day. But since Imam Hussain Blood Drive is held with Fatima Islamic Society and Masjid Rasul, there's a poster outside that's hanging. You can use the QR code, or you can use ImamHusseinBloodDrive.org to sign up so that you get the time that you can come with your family and register and donate blood together. 1 pint of blood, 1 donation saves 3 lives. As you know, we're doing this in the name of Imam Hussain. For the sake of Allah, in the name of Imam Hussain, to save someone's life. If you can, this is how we make our community stronger and develop a better name and reputation in our community. There are already articles that I arranged with the Acorn, which is the local newspaper in Ventura County, that promotes the image of Shiaism by saying what Imam Hussain is and what the blood drive is and how much blood we've raised. Masjid Rasul and Fatima, this combination throughout the 6 Juluses raises the most amount of donations. So let's keep it up. The last time I checked, we were 39 out of 98 slots. So if you've been doing it in the past, Jazakallah, please sign up again. Let's keep up that tradition. It makes our community stronger. Inshallah, I'm going to do my very best to get an article published in the LA Times this year, and not just the local newspapers. So let's see if we can encourage yourself and other family members and friends to come and donate. There's a whole series of criteria listed, 16 and up with parents, and then adults, of course. If you have any questions, you can reach me. I also wanted to tell you about the Hashta Zara Majlis. That's on July 20th, inshallah. Every year it happens. The Majlis will be starting as it always is at 11 a.m. and then it will be ending as it normally does around 2:30. So please come, please join, please attend that day if anyone is interested. There are special promotions if you want to plan and purchase your cemetery in advance, and even services this year. For the health and happiness of Sheikh Ahmad, please let's recite loud salawat. Of course, that's not only, the Bashta Zahra Majlis is not only for Masjid al-Rasul, like Fatima, Risala, and Imams, and all the mu'mineen of this area. So please come, attend. Like I said, I've arranged for special pricing for services. If you already have your spot, you can use it for purchasing services. And if you want, you can arrange in advance for spots. I don't want to take any more time. I just wanted to inform you of those upcoming events. My condolences on the martyrdom of Imam Hussain and his family. And without any further delay, I'll ask Haji Modarres to come. Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Please repeat with me. We're going to say Salam Ya Hussain 5 times. Salam Ya Hussain. Salam Ya Hussain. Salam Ya Hussain. Even louder. Salam Ya Hussain. Salam Ya Hussain. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Let's remember all the Marhumeen, especially Marhumeen for tonight. Marhum Sayyid Hussein Yar Khan, Marhum Sayyid Zakari, Marhum Sayyid Abbas Ali Khan, Marhum Sayyid Kazim Hassan, Marhum Sayyid Asif Hassan, Marhum Sakina Mirza, Marhum Ziba Sajwani, with the Surah Fatiha and Sallallahu Muhammad wa Muhammad. progeny Ahlul Bayt, especially his beloved grandson of Abdullah Hussein alayhi salam, salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله الذي لا بداية له والدائم الذي لا نفاد له والأول الذي لا أول لأوليته والآخر الذي لا مؤخر لآخريته ثم الصلاة والسلام على خير خلقه وحبيبه حافظ سره ومبلغ رسالاته حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين الهداة المهديين سيما بقية الله في السماوات والأرضين قال الله تبارك وتعالى في القرآن الكريم قل إن كنتم تحبون الله فاتبعوني يحببكم الله ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم والله غفور رحيم قل أطيعوا الله والرسول فإن تولوا فإن الله لا يحب الكافرين صدق الله العلي العظيم. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us His love, the love of His messenger, and the love of the family of the Prophet Ahlul Bayt with the salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Mawadda, or love and compassion, was one of the necessities that every family is in need of. And yesterday we specifically discussed how can we work on this gift of Allah, how can we develop this compassion. Because like everything else, it's not something that is just happens naturally. It requires effort, it requires ultimately our intention and our actions driving our family toward that kind of ideal. And for that reason we discussed the hadith of Muhammad alayhi salam that if somebody is seeking love, there are three ways that we can do it. Again, it's a test time, bismillah. What are the ways that we can develop and bring that kind of compassion and love in any relationship, but specifically in family? Yes. Insaf, which means fairness. Those who are fair are the people who will be loved. Those who are unfair, even if you're in school and you're a very unfair person, your friends will not prefer to hang out with you over someone who has no fairness. What else? That's it. Good start. Again? Very good. So service, help. At the time, as human beings, we are servants of any kindness. It means when somebody does us a favor, even as I said, if somebody holds us the door, we see that smile all the way when we get to our car, right? You've seen those awkward smiles because all they did was hold the door for you. That's something about our nature. When somebody does any favor or help us or serve us, even if it's a very trivial or very insignificant thing, we feel responsible, obligated to do something about it. So that brings mahabba and love as well. What else? Yes?
Human is a servant of kindness.
Very good. So meaning, qalb as-salim was the word which means ultimately our hearts is free of jealousy and hatred. It means if somebody wants khair for others, they're rooting for success of others. Deep down, they don't have this limited selfishness that it should be all about me. Truly, genuinely, other people's happiness also make them happy. These people are loved as well. Meaning that other people get that vibe from them, that this person doesn't intend harm toward me. That's qalb as-salim. That's a healthy heart. Tonight I'm going to build on that topic. And that is this concept that when we talk about mahabba and love, I would say our family more than ever we need to talk about it. Because I notice sometimes because of a very machine-like lifestyle that we're living in, emotions are leaving our relationships. Everything is about productivity, is about question, what's the point? And anything that ultimately doesn't give us that kind of quantifiable outcome, it's pointless. I've heard this argument from people that why we cry for Mohammed. We should have lectures. We should learn about Mohammed. Because for them, this seems as somehow not relevant, or it ultimately doesn't have any result. And the issue with that is, we live at the time that everything is about data. It's about, okay, this, I'm going to do this. This is why we have watches. This is, even we count our steps now, right? We have 10,000 steps or 15,000 steps. This is how much calorie we burn. When we eat food, again, we try to keep track of it, right? Everything is measured. And emotions, especially love, it's one of the gifts of Allah, is not that easily measurable. If you ask a mom to stay awake with their child the entire night, why did you have a child? Let's do quantifiable, or let's do logical, rational reasoning behind what somebody have a child. Number one, you have to, for the next, if you are blessed, 20 years. If you're not blessed, maybe by the age of 30, you still have them around you. But by the age of 20, you have to take care of them, right? Even after that, you have to care about their education. You have to have that anxiety, they're leaving, coming back, are they okay? You have to spend time not only for their health and well-being, nutrition, you have to care about their upbringing and tarbiyah. You have to carry the child as a mother. For 9 months, we go through that pain. Quran says, one burden upon burden. It's not easy, obviously. And then there is a time of nursing that makes it 2 years. And during that time, you cannot live your usual, normal life either. And after that, there are sleepless nights. What's the quantifiable outcome of that? And at the end of the day, when they become 20, said, my dad didn't do enough for me. My mom, she could have done better. I need to talk to my therapist about the trauma that she caused me. Which again, there are cases of that. I'm not denying there are toxic parents. But when I hear it over and over, to a point that you don't find anyone, or rarely anyone who's happy, because they think they could have done a better job if they were in their shoes. Until they become parents, and usually that's the time things become clear that, okay, I thought it was an easy job. Now I know what they went through to raise me. Why I say all this is that the reason people have children is not really on the paper a very, fiscally responsible decision to have children. What is the reason they have children? You cannot deny this, the love of parenthood. That moment that every mother, every father says that when they hold their child for the first time, 9 months of pregnancy and the difficulties, it becomes clear and worth it. You just held the baby. That baby didn't do anything for you. They didn't take care of you. They didn't watch after you. It was just that love there. That's why when we talk about Imam Hussein and crying for Imam Hussein, these tears, we have a statement about Imam Hussein himself said, "Ana atilul amra." I'm the one who was martyred for tears. Atilul amra. There's something about tears in Imam Hussein. That when you hear the name of Imam Hussein, to those hearts that have love for him, there is this trembling. This is the reaction of the love, the tears as a result of that. That's why you see a lot of people, parents, when they're even at the time of happiness of their children, their son just graduated, their daughter just got married, or any other happy moment, one expression of love is what? Crying, tears. It doesn't make sense. You should be happy, and a lot of people, why are you crying? It's something about our nature, our fitra, our soul. And these tears, it touches our soul. It comes from soul. Our brain doesn't help us cry. Our brain, it doesn't really make us emotionally get connected. Something that usually comes from the heart is getting that kind of power, has that kind of power. So, we're going to talk today about love and importance of expression of love in family. Because one thing that is, as I said, people say is irrelevant is that I married you, didn't I? You should know that I love you, otherwise I wouldn't have married you. So to say that I should express, communicate, and say that I love my family, it's irrelevant, it's pointless, it's redundant. Because they should know, I'm your father, of course I love you. Right? I am your husband, I am your wife, I am your mother. But our teachings and our faith said you should show it. And I believe one of the reasons our advices as parents are not as effective is when our advices becomes nagging. To the point that all they see when they see their parents is that, okay, once again, it's going to be another 30 minutes, 40 minutes, depending how long is going to be the advice session. And I'm going to just hear that I'm a horrible son or a horrible daughter, and that's all it is. Meaning, because there's no other kind of communication. I've heard it from children. They said one of the scariest time for us is that when our family decide to have a sit down. So, okay, let's sit. So something is not right. And something is probably happened and we need to talk. So it means that we only use the expression of communication or talking or conversation only for the sake of negative. It's not a moment that, okay, it's not always about you could do better, especially, mashallah, kudos to Desi parents. Again, I give you credit that academia is important. It is important, but to the point that people, even if they have, let's say, A, right? If they got 4.8 GPA, still, they could have done better. There was extracurricular activity over there, you could just fit it there. Even when the child or the son comes with that big smile that, okay, alhamdulillah, I achieved this, sometimes the reaction is, what do you want me to do? You should have done this. I raised you this way, I provided everything, you have everything you need. What do you want? You want a pat in the back? Yes, they want a pat in the back. And in our faith, it's important to communicate that mahabbah, communicate that love. To the point, for example, we have Imam Salah was sitting with his companions, not just toward family. So family, of course, is top priority, but even toward other people. Do not forget that as people, one thing that we should not deny, that anyone as a human being, they want to be loved. Nobody likes to be despised. Nobody likes to be hated. And that's okay. In Ziyarat Amin Allah, for Imam Ali alayhi salam, is a ziyarah narrated from our fourth Imam. And it's a very short ziyarah. You can recite it for any of the Ahlul Bayt. It's one of the authentic du'as that we have, but especially, exclusively is for Imam Ali alayhi salam. Amin Allah is referring to the title of the Imam, which means the trustee of Allah. Allah trusted him with guidance, with providing direction, and teaching people and educating them. They are Amin Allah, they're trustee of Allah. Allah's message, Allah's Quran was trusted with them to protect. Among the statements in Ziyarat Amin Allah is that we ask for certain things from Allah. مطمئنة بقدرك راضية بقضائك مولعة بذكرك ودعائك. Ya Allah, help me to understand the true meaning of your decree. Because sometimes I don't have the wisdom, but help me to understand it. Help me to have that satisfaction, fulfillment with your qadha, with your what you determined for me. It didn't mean for me, again, I'm not that tall, I'm short. Ya Allah, help me not to be upset about it, that why I'm not taller. That's my decree, that was what was meant for me. I was born with certain talents, and I was not born with certain talents. That was meant for me. These are something that I cannot learn and practice. A lot of talents you can practice, but there's some things that you cannot do anything about them. right? There's so many talents that's out of our ability. I was not born with it. Physical features, not everyone, mashallah, I know a lot of people, especially young people, want to play in the NBA, and inshallah, I hope you succeed, and nothing against you. But the reality is there are physical advantages, and yes, there are exceptions, there were John Nash and some other exception, but overall, the chances are physically you don't have that advantage. That's okay. Some people don't. So help me to understand that I have things that others don't, and there are blessings that others have and I do, and that's okay. That's the way life is. And among the things that we ask Allah, مَحْبُوبَةً فِي أَرْضِكَ وَسَمَائِكَ. It's not a bad thing that the Imam is teaching us to ask Allah for. Ya Allah, help us to be loved. Mahbub means someone, again, in mashallah, in Urdu, the term mahbub exists, right? Means the one who's beloved. Ya Allah, make me mahbub, to be loved, fi ardik, under earth, and samaik, and in the heavens. So it's not a bad thing to be loved. But how to get it, that's a different story. You cannot beg to be loved. Right? You cannot just be a pushover and do what people want in order to like you. Usually if you're that kind of person and you have no backbone, if you have someone that you have no identity, no character, sooner or later, people recognize and walk away from you. They take advantage of you, they use you until they're done with you. Then they describe you anymore. But if you have the proper character, you have the fairness in you, you have the humility, there are qualities that you have, then automatically people will care for you, people will respect you. That's why in the day of Ashura, some people said to Imam Hussein alayhi salam, we know who you are. It's not that we hate you. Some of them did hate Imam Hussein because they hate Imam Ali. And they said it, we hate you because of your father. Because your father, he didn't let us get away with our crimes. He was the man of justice and we paid the price for that. Now as a payback time, we hated your father and we hate you. But many who are not as prominent like those enemies of Imam Hussein, they would say that we like you. We don't really want to fight you. And that's why there were some people in the day of Ashura who were in the day of Ashura, they were in the army of Umar ibn Sa'd, but they didn't fight. They were just bystanders. But in the Ziyarah we said, because they didn't fight, it doesn't mean they were not guilty. They were an accomplice in the crime. That's why in the Ziyarah al-Ashura say, Allah remove your mercy of those وَشَايَعَتْ وَبَايَعَتْ وَتَابَعَتْ عَلَىٰ قَتْلِهِ. Those, all they did, they were extras in the army of Umar ibn Sa'd. Shaya, they were just there. They didn't even throw an arrow, they didn't fight. All they did, they just were there. Some bay'ah, they gave their allegiance, they gave their word to fight. They ended up not fighting, but they still, if there were the chance, they would have. Wataba, those who supported and assisted and backed them up, Ya Allah, you remove your mercy from all of them, because ultimately you're accomplices. You cannot say, because I didn't fight, I'm not guilty. Something, being a bystander in injustice, make you an accomplice. Palestine, why are we talking about Palestine? And I've seen, unfortunately, this argument is not that common. Once in a while I hear it from few, a very, very small minority, that all the Palestinians, they're not Shia, or even some accuse them of not being faulting their lovers out of faith, and things like that. Which again is a very, very interesting, I don't like to call it a coincidence, that suddenly these people start carrying a Shia Sunni, as if this was planted to take away support from Palestine. And the answer to that is, we stand for the Palestinian, because if we don't, we're an accomplice to the atrocities coming. If I stand indifferent, I have a role in that. Now I can say, okay, I'm not doing anything. I'm not shooting a bullet. But all I did was shayat. I just stood by and let it and I said nothing. And if I learn one thing from Muhammad, that injustice cannot be tolerated. Dhulm cannot be tolerated if I claim the love of Allah and understand. So, the concept of love, going back to the main topic, is that there are those who were in the battle, but he said it. Because everybody ultimately have this recognition of a character of Imam Hussein. How much of that, let's say, information helped their heart, that's a different story. And that's what I'm trying to say. Crying for Imam Hussein is something, especially for you people, for young people. You don't get it. Some of you don't get it. You get the data part, you get the historical part, you get the moral and ethical and practical lessons. But the moment that it comes more in azab, you don't get it. Try to experience, and then you get it. Because once it's the brain, okay, I got the information and data. But once you try, and we have the hadith that if you cannot cry, man baka or abka or tabaka. If you cannot cry, at least put yourself in a position of someone who wants to cry. Put your head down, act like a grieving person. Maybe I cannot shed tears, but at least I can put my head down. I don't want to smile in the middle of the musibah, at least. Act like someone who wants to cry. That person will get a reward. Because you are at least attempting, trying. Enemies of Imam Hussein, they had the information. They knew Imam Hussein is the son of Fatima. They knew he is grandson of the Prophet. They've heard some of them that Hussein is the master of the youth of paradise. But the soul did not connect to the heart, to the mind. The heart and the mind didn't connect. Having information sometimes is not sufficient. I give you one example. A young man told me, he said, for a couple of years when I was in high school, I used to smoke. And I knew smoking is bad for me. The brain part was perfect. You know, in school, and on the internet, everyone talks about the harm of tobacco, what it does to your health, how bad it is. Financially, it's bad for you. Health-wise, it's bad for you. It's just an inconvenience when you're too dependent on anything, when you're an addict. It's not easy. You know, you always have to take breaks and all that. On the top of that, there was a psychological pressure too, because I was trying to cover it up, hide it. So I knew that it was wrong. But it wasn't enough, but it wasn't powerful enough to stop me. Until one day, my mom caught me. I was trying to hide, I was in the balcony, I was trying to just hide it and come back. And I knew that most likely sooner or later I would be exposed, but that day was the day. And the moment my mom looked at me, she said nothing. But I saw tears in her eyes, and I felt that her heart broke at that moment. And she walked away. So from that day, I decided not to smoke anymore. The logic is not there. The logic was already there. The information was there. What was that force to stop it? Was the love, it was that connection. But then all of a sudden, we get the information piece, which is in the lecture. But sometimes we need to let this information have that spark to the heart, and those tears does that work for us. Because sometimes I get all the data, all the information, but it's not powerful enough to convince me to change. Yes, I heard about all the bad things I'm doing. I learned that, okay, apparently I have to make some changes, but there's not enough in me to do it until we connect with Imam Hussein, until you cry. And those tears, as if they wash away something, remove a barrier. Give it a try. Young people, give it a try. I cannot explain. Emotions are very difficult to describe. You cannot really quantify it. The love for Imam Hussein is not something that I can truly explain. That's why he said that for the love of Imam Hussein, there is a heat in the hearts of people that will not subdue ever. That will never get cold. It's not logical. There's something more than logic here. Deeper than that. So what should we do in family? We should express love. The words of the Prophet, the teaching of Ahmad is this. We have the narration says, before Karbala, this companion of Imam Hussein says, I saw that one of the daughters of Imam Hussein, a young daughter, a girl, she ran in the masjid. And Imam Hussein salam hugged her. And the word of Imam Hussein to his daughter was, my beloved, I love you. And how beautiful you are. And Imam salam hold them tight. This is what Prophet did to Imam Hussein himself, by the way. It's the way he passed it down. Our Prophet broke barriers, transformed lives at an era that hugging your children was considered something, a taboo. It was something that if you do it, you would have been labeled as feminine, you would have been labeled as ignorant. So people will not hug their children. They will not kiss, they will not embrace them, they will not hug them, kiss them. One of the companions came and said, Ya Rasulullah, I had 10 children, 10. Not even once I hugged them. He said it as a way to mock Prophet, because Prophet would hug Imam Hussein and Imam Hassan all the time. Not only hug them, carry them on his shoulder. And this is the messenger of God. And he would let them play when he was in the middle of the salat. We heard about this, and I'm surprised by people who do salat, and if a children runs around them, they get upset. As if that, they're doing something disrespectful. Children are being children. The hadith said that the Prophet was in the middle of the salat, he went to sajda, he went to prostration. Imam Hassan started playing on his back. The Prophet of God extended, prolonged his sajda, not to disturb a child who's playing on his back. Which Prophet we're learning from? I've seen elders, I've been to Medina, if somebody walk and cross someone when they're doing salah, you just be ready for some interesting interactions. Which Prophet of God, which masjid, of which person you're praying into? So expression of love is critical. And when we say expression, it means parents have to do it to their children. Don't make the only conversation with your children that you're disappointed in them. Do not make it the only conversation that they could do better. Do not make the conversation that how they're ungrateful. Make conversation that sometimes is that I know how difficult it is. I know what you're going through. And I just want to tell you that as a father, as a mother, I will love you. I will care for you. I will support you. These are the words that need to be heard. So going back to the story, Imam Sadiq was sitting in the masjid with his companion. And one of the companions saw someone is walking. It was another student of Imam Sadiq. And he told the circle that they were sitting, oh, I love that man so much. Meaning there was this brotherly love between two students of Imam Sadiq. I love that man so much. Imam Sadiq told him, stand up, go to him. So why? So go tell him personally. Why he said to us, go, stop him and tell him you love him and come back. Imam, make him do it. And Imam, we have another riwayah, said why you should do it. Why you should say to your brothers that you love them. So again, if you do it to your brothers in Iman, you have to do it, of course, to your wife. Of course, you have to do it to your husband, to your children, and to your parents. Obviously, should be a given. Imam Sadiq used the ayah of the Quran from Surah Baqarah, the story of Ibrahim alayhi salam. We have that Ibrahim alayhi salam said, Rabbi arini kayfa tuhyi al-mawta. Ya Allah, show me how you revive the dead, how you bring the dead back to life. The story of the birds, and then birds being killed and mixed and then placed in different mountains, called upon them by the permission of Allah. They came back to life, they were resurrected. Imam Jafar said, just look at that story. When Allah asked Ibrahim, قَالَ أَوَلَمْ تُؤْمِنْ O Ibrahim, do you have iman? Do you have faith? What you want me to show you? To basically bring it to a manifestation, to a visual revival and resurrection. Do you have iman? قَالَ بَلَى وَلَكِنْ لِيَطْمَئِنَّ قَلْبِي. Ibrahim responded, indeed I believe, but I want assurance from my heart. لِيَطْمَئِنَّ قَلْبِي. I want a peace of heart. And Imam Sallallahu used that ayah, said, yes, your family, your brother, they know that you love them, but they need لِيَطْمَئِنَّ قَلْبِي. They need that assurance of the heart, so tell them. Don't wait for the Valentine's Day or birthdays or Father's Day to say you love them. Make it more often. Express your love to them. Because they need لِيَطْمَئِنَّ قَلْبِي. That is something we should do. And imagine that kind of family, the husband and wife, they say, this is nothing irreligious about it. That's the negative thing, that when culture takes over and make things that they're not bad look bad. We're not putting it in the messenger of God. If the messenger of God says, say that to your family, say it to your children, are we thinking we're above them, God forbid? Oh, these things, this is not for us. This is not for our time. No, it is for our time, more than ever. So that's one form of expression, verbal expression of mahabbah, that you care for someone. And imagine the more you say this, those who say this love and compassion to one another, if you like it or not, subconsciously it affects our attitude toward them. It doesn't work that way that you say, I love them, and then you smack them at the same time. It has an impact on your manners, on your character, on your actions as well. Rather than if I feel this distance, right? Stranger walking in the house, a stranger leaving the house. Sometimes parents ask me why our children and our youth, they love to hang out with their friends more than their families. Why is that? Number one, obviously because they're peers, they're same age. They understand each other's languages. It's the same way you like to spend time with people your age. As parents, you like to spend time with parents. You don't like, as a father and a mother and a child, to spend time with a 10-year-old talking about the latest Minecraft, game. You want to hang out with people your age. That's one reason. Second one is that sometimes there is a lot of miscommunication, a lot of lack of communication. People like to hang out in places that they feel that they are wanted. They want me here. So if they want to hang out with their friends because they say, oh, you're here? What's up, Alan? It's been a long time. I wanted to, I've been looking out to see you. They feel that I am wanted here. They want me here. But in a family, if God forbid, all they feel is that they are not wanted. They think that they are extra, or they think that they are somehow not good enough. So obviously that kind of place is not a place we want to be. So love is critical. As parents, learn that. As children, you should do that as well. Express your love to your parents. Forget about that it's lame. Forget about that, that doesn't make any sense. This sense of being entitled, one thing that I promise you is that you will miss every second you spend with your parents. Every second of it. Unless your parents, God forbid, are Abu Lahab and his wife, you will be missing them. The nature of us is that we think, okay, no one has it worse than me. I'm the most miserable person in the world. Be patient. Let time teach you things. Don't rush. Just be patient. So that way, when we express the love, we take the first step. Number two, which is critical, is by action, which we talked about yesterday, to be fair, to do service. When you offer a cup of tea to your dad, that's another expression of love. When you ask your mom and dad, for example, mashallah, a lot of young people, they like their hip style and the brands and the look. Once in a while, Dad, I think this shirt looks good on you. What do you think if I wear it for you? Mom, I think this will be something that will help you a lot, make your job easier. I think this will look good on you. These are actions that will be expression of love as well, because it's service. You show that you care for someone. It's more than just saying, but also showing in action as well. But please do not copy other people. That's why everybody have to know their family. If your friends, if your cousin buys something and their parents are over the moon, because they know what their parents like. Let's take an example. If your dad is a big cricket fan, which we have some people who don't care for cricket as much, and have them here. And again, I'm pretty sure it's a major sin in this community if you don't care for cricket. But let's say if they care for cricket, if you buy them a gift, buy them cricket, most likely they will be overjoyed. But if they exactly copy-paste to your friend or your cousin, and they do show that kind of reaction, you should not really blame them, it's not their thing. Because even in gift giving, which again hadith said, narrated from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam,
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Prophet said, another way that you can increase this mahabba and love in the family is hadiyah, gift giving. It brings them up. Gift giving, gift for events and anniversaries or just random. But in your gift is important to pay attention. Why gift giving is important? If you do it right. Because that person said, oh, a month ago or 6 months ago I said something. I didn't mean anything. So I like this gift or I like that. And 2 months later, 6 months later, a year later, they don't mean. So it shows they listen, they care. Rather than just going with a very generic gift, which is fine. Once in a while, generic gifts works as well. It has a different kind of message. People care for what they receive. I have people who say, I literally told my husband what I want. I gave him a list of 5 things. And I said, I want one of these 5. And at the end of the day, they bought them something so pointless that I didn't want. So where did you get this from? So I ordered it on TikTok. Apparently, they thought that I'm going to be and of course, so I tried to act, but I'm not a good actress. I tried to act, which we should. If somebody gives us a gift that we don't like, please act. There's nothing wrong. Please, this is not nifaq, this is not hypocrisy. When somebody gives you a gift that you don't like, have a big smile and say thank you. Don't say that, oh, this is the best gift of my life. Again, don't oversell it that people know that you're lying over, through your teeth. But make it generally, thank you, I appreciate the gesture. Thank you so much. Teach me how to use it. What is it? Expression of love is something that we learn from the Prophet. There's a lot to be said on this topic, which I believe we need. Discipline is important. Having proper routine is important. Having now order is important. But ultimately, we are not AIs. We are not machines. If it comes to doing things right, precise, machines do it better than us. What will make us irreplaceable is this love that we call. Yes, there are those who claim that machine can love and all that. Let that be a debate for them. The one thing is clear that ChatGPT or any AI thing out there, they add these, different laugh and audio cues to say that, oh, they're type like human, they react like human. But we know that sometimes 2 people just looking at each other. I've seen nods, right? See a young man coming to the masjid, just nod. Good luck with the machine and the nod. That's what makes us these interactions that come from compassion. They come from love. Think about that Imam Hussein's family. How much love is in that family? How much love is between parents, husband and wife? Rubab is Imam Hussein's wife. She recited poetry for Imam Hussein. The way she adores Imam Hussein. Imam Hussein recited poetry for Rubab. And that's why when Imam Hussein is the last one to go to the battle, we have that Sakina is the one who stands in front of the horse of Imam Hussein. We think we had a tough day, and of course today I was tired, I had a headache, I had migraines, that's why I was not in the best. Imam Hussein just lost his companions, lost his family, lost his son. He is the last to go to the battle. He is now on Zuljanah. Imagine how difficult that is. How much a human being can endure. And at that moment, his daughter, Sakina, said, Dad, can you come come down from the horse. Imagine if our daughter or our son asks us for something and I'm busy and I have to go. And Imam Hussein salam, he comes down from the horse. And he said, my dad Hussein, can you make me sit on your lap? And then she says these words, that when the news of the Shahada of Muslim reached you and you heard of it, you went to the children of Muslim. Because now they're yatim and orphans. You showed love to them. You were someone who looked after the yatim. Tell me, my father Hussein, who will do that for me once you're gone? Who's going to comfort me when you're not going to come back? And Imam Hussein salam hugged her. Said, my beloved Sakina, you know how much I love you and how much I love the house that you're in. Be patient, my daughter. Know that Allah is the greatest of supporters. That Allah will never leave you alone. And then he called Zainab sallallahu alayhi wa, my sister Zainab, come and take my Sakina, take care of her for me. And Zainab sallallahu alayhi wa hold her hand. And Imam Hussein went to the battle. Close your eyes and just for a second, as a father, as a mother, as a son, as a daughter, imagine this moment. That now Sakina is going in and out of the tent, waiting for her father to come back. It's been a while that there is no sound, no voice coming from the battle, because you hear the sound of Allahu Akbar of Imam Hussein as he's fighting the enemy. But suddenly that voice is stopped. All these eyes are gazing, looking at the battlefield, until the horse of Imam Hussein al-Jinnah came, without the rider. They gathered around the horse. And Zainab is the one who's running toward the battlefield. Everyone else is running away, because now they know there is no one to stand up between them and the enemy. And Zainab is running toward Qatl. This is where the Shahada of Imam Hussein happened. She ran toward the place of Shahada of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And what she saw Shem sitting on the chest of Allah Abdullah. And these are the words of Zainab said, oh Shem, do you know where you're sitting? This is where Rasulullah is. You know who are you trying to kill? This is the beloved of Fatima. This is the blood of Murtada Ali. You know who are you treating like this? This is the one that Prophet said is the master of the youth of paradise. Ya Rasulallah, this is the word of Zainab. Wa Muhammada wa Ali hada Husaynuka murammalun bid-dima. Oh my grandfather Rasulullah, be witness that this body covered in blood, this body who is now in the land of Karbala laying down, this is your beloved Husayn. Wa ala la'natullah ala al-qawm al-zalimin wa sa'iru alladhina zalamu أي منقلب ينقلبون إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. Ya Allah, by the name of Abu Abdullah Hussein, by the honor of the family of Abu Abdullah Hussein, hasten and reappearance of Imam of our time, Imam Sahih Rasul al-Zaman. Help us to be among the true leaders, the true followers of Imam of our time. Ya Allah, grant us your mercy and forgiveness by the honor of Rasulullah, by the honor of Abu Abdullah Hussein and Ahlul Bayt. Ya Allah, those who are in need of our laws, those who are sick, marine, those who are dealing with challenges and difficulty, Ya Allah, provide them immediate relief and grant them strength to overcome these difficulties and pass the trials and the test of this dunya. Ya Allah, we pray for all the Muslimin, all the oppressed of the world, anyone, anywhere in the world who is being treated with injustice, especially for the Muslimin of Palestine and Gaza. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them immediate relief as soon as possible. And we pray for the soul of all of our Mu'min, all the Mu'min and Mu'minat, especially those, first of all, for anyone who participated in this program, and for those who volunteered these majalis, and those who sponsored this majlis. May Allah bless their soul with the Surah Fatiha and Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل